Buddy, good morning, good morning, good morning. The first day of the week. I think thanks and praises to the Most High. Yeah, I am Shanta. I know you guys have realized that the so-called first month of the year, we don't celebrate it as the first month of the year. Done many videos of this in the past about it not being the first month of the year and known for years. I've learned it ever since I was in primary school that January was not always considered the first month of the year. In primary school, we used to receive a newspaper. They were called Children's Own. It was a newspaper that gave you like little bits of information for kids, things like that. It's like an activity newspaper. And one fateful day in the newspaper, it was like just giving us a little, pop, those little things where they give you pop quiz and information. And it told you how, the reason why it's called April Fools is because April used to be considered first month of the year because of spring. And then when they changed it to January, they started to mock people who still considered April the first month of the year. That's why it's called April
Fools.
Fools. So anyway, we don't celebrate January as the first month of the year. However, we want to point out that it's January, which is considered the first month of the year, while they celebrate it as the first month of the year. Look at what's happening. Look, it's not even January really. Look what's happening in January already. I know everybody sees all these happenings happen, and we've said it before, and we're going to say it again. These things are only going to continue to increase, and these things are only going to continue to ramp up, and these things are only going to continue to get worse because we are coming to the time of the gathering. The Most High is getting ready to pull his people out and to gather them to put us in the wilderness.
And not only that, Salakia, the Most High is getting very angry at us. You mentioned it being the first of the year. If you guys didn't know, most of the months, well, maybe I think all of the months are actually named after Greek gods. For instance, January is after the god or goddess Janus. So when you celebrate New Year's, you're celebrating Janus. You're worshiping Janus. So just know that most people rob out. Most people like got drunk and smoked up and laid up and you know worshiping Janus, whether they recognized it or not or realized it or not. So
Same thing too with the days of the week. We've said this before. It is named after the Greek gods. Saturday after Saturn, Saturnus. Monday after the moon god. Sunday after the sun god Hermes. Not Hermes, so whoever it is, that's the sun god in Greek. You understand? Days of the week in English are named after the gods of the Greek. You understand? So even as Hebrew people, we're not supposed to be even referring to these days anymore. It's Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We should be calling it first day, second day, third day, fourth day, fifth day, sixth day, seventh day, or rest day, or Shabbat. You understand? It is time for us to really come out of her, my people, mentally, physically, scripturally, spiritually, especially. You understand? Coming out of her is not just it doesn't just mean physically like moving with your feet out of her. It means really and truly mentally coming out of her because as you can see, especially with Lot's wife, now my wife and I were talking about Lot and his Lot coming out of Sodom before judgment was rained down upon it. And the thing about it is that Lot's wife, even though she came out of the city of Sodom physically, she never came out of it emotionally, and spiritually, and that's why she turned back. And the thing about it is that even with the children of Yasharala, when they came out of Egypt, they did not come out of Egypt spiritually and mentally either, because even though they left physically, they complained about being treated better in Egypt. You understand? And we need to understand this, that when the time of gathering comes, and I've said this many times, you understand? This time the Lord is not playing with us. He's not playing with us. You understand? He's coming to rescue. And if you come with that bag of foolishness, and that's why I keep talking about this. I keep telling you about the verse that says the rebels will be purged out from amongst us. This time in the wilderness, they are not going to be given a second chance. There's no sorry. There's no, arguing. There's no debate. They are just going to be scourged. You understand? None of this feminist crap, none of this talking back crap, none of this whoredom, none of this foolishness is going to be tolerated or accepted when the time comes. A lot of you don't understand we're being soft. No, 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 it's not the time to be soft about anything. Now is not the time to be soft about anything. Right now is about to be about the Lord's work in terms of preaching the message, waking up his people, warning Edom about what is coming upon them, and that they should repent for what they. But Edom will not repent for what it has done to our people. And I'm not just talking our people as in American blacks, but worldwide. Edom worldwide. The reason why America is so important is because America is basically Mystery Babylon. And if it's not Mystery Babylon, it's basically the nation where every other nation look up to. And America being punished before the other nations is a sign that their punishment is next or is coming at the same time as well. So we will eventually get into this whole UFO sightings. We will get into this whole fire burning stuff. But right now, the message is to come out of her, my people, because you don't want to be sharing in her judgment as the time draweth nigh. You understand what I'm saying? And the second message is this: is that when is to put away the foolishness of this whole debating, this whole um being soft and accepting people in, and wanting to help people. I'm not talking our people. Yes, help our people. Try to wake up our people. Be as patient as you can with some of them when they're asking questions. But you see, those people who are called Christians, stop debating with them. Don't debate with Christians anymore.
So like, yeah, if they want to be, it's one thing if they genuinely want to know, like, why do you believe this? And I want to know more. That's another thing. If they want to be contentious, want to be just have strength with you, just cutting you off at every word, just to have a word in for ego purposes instead of just actually want to know, because a lot of it is ego.
It's not even just like they want to have a word in. What they want to do is basically shame you and try to prove that, oh, they are right, and this movement is just a movement of hatred. This movement is a cult and all those things. And we've said it before, people call us a cult for basically celebrating Passover, for celebrating Feast of Tabernacles, celebrating
keeping a Shabbat,
Yom Kippur, right? For celebrating Feast of Dedication. People are calling us a cult. Legalists. But yet still these things are in the Bible. And the things that are in the Bible are actually being celebrated. The things that are in the Bible as pagan holidays are the things that are being celebrated. So what I want to understand is, why is one basically that is celebrating the feast that the Lord has established?
And the Lord kept himself.
And the Mashiach kept himself. Why are those things being called legalists? Why are those things being called cultists, and not the ones that are celebrating pagan holidays? Yeah, you gotta learn for a little bit before you bloom.
I was jolting
Mm.
box around before we started.
Mm.
Salakia.
And so we're gonna go to our first Bible verse, and it's going to be in Malachi 1:4. And before we even get into this Bible verse, you have to notice and recognize and also understand that basically what's happening now, like I said before, it's only going to get worse. It's just like a precursor.
The birth pains.
The birth pains are increasing and everything. Don't even try. You understand? So we're gonna move right now to Malachi.
And that's the thing. It's just a taste.
See, you know,
And women, we know if you ever had a baby, you know, especially when it's your first, you think the first centimeter contractions, or you having contractions for the first time, and you think it's the worst thing ever. And you go to the doctor and you realize you're only 2 centimeters. And you realize, how much more can I take? If I'm only 2 centimeters and I have to get the 10 and push the baby out, how much harder will it be? So we're probably like at a 2.
yeah, I think we're still in the
So,
beginning stages because we're able to manage, we're able to not we, Edom,
mhm.
but we too as well. You know, we're seeing what's going on and them things there, and we need to start preparing. So we're gonna go to Malachi chapter 1, verse 4, and it says, whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus says the Adan, Sevaat. Sevaat means Lord of hosts. They shall build, but I shall throw down. They shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Adan hath indignation or. So many of you may not have my TikTok handle. It's the same name on TikTok as well, Hebrew Jamaican Coolie. I've spoken about this many times in terms of the Most High hates the Amalekites.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why the Amalekites are hated is because the Amalekites, they are not partial people. They kill. They kill the young, the old, the women, and the children of Israel. And scripture says that the Most High, his fury is going to be against the Amalekites. Not this verse in terms of scripture, but I believe that the Amalekites are also known as Edom as well. So, with all that has happened to Black Americans and Caribbean Americans, Caribbean Americans and Caribbeans, Black people worldwide, globally, during the transatlantic slave trade, after the slave trade and was abolished, the atrocities that happened. America was just as bad as Jamaica too. American children were used as gator baits. Babies were there. They dug holes in the ground and let the heads stick out. Baby's head stick out, and they kick the baby's head off, clean off, and see how far they could kick a baby's head. How wicked do you have to be doing that? Hmm? How wicked as a person do you have to be to do that? It's one thing to basically just wipe a baby out clean, but it's another thing to make sport of it. It is another thing to make sport of it. That means that you take joy in what you do, the evil that you do. You understand? So, with all these homes burning down, this is a warning to you people. You're going to try to rebuild, but the Most High is going to throw that down again.
And so, like, yeah, it was an episode. I don't know if you can look it up. It's an episode of The Simpsons. And it actually talks about California burning down. And 6 months later, they're trying to rebuild. And they can't rebuild.
They can't rebuild. but I know you guys have seen the videos in terms of the orbs and the so I was explaining that to my wife as well, that the speed by which these objects are moving, they're moving faster than Mach 6. The human body can only withstand up to Mach 3, Mach 4, I believe. That's how far our bodies can withstand. We can't withstand the speed by which and the maneuvering by which these things are moving is that we don't have. And recently, I've been looking at the technology that we've had, the aircraft technology. Unless the US is trying out some new technology, I don't think so. But I do not believe we have the technology that I am seeing in those videos with the maneuvering. If some of you are anime fans like me, if you look at Macross and Macross Frontier and all the Macross series with how the aircrafts maneuver, that's how the aircrafts are actually maneuvering in that video. Like they will go down, dip up, like they can go just down like this and dip up and come back. We don't have aircrafts that can do that, because if an aircraft dip, it has to go forward. It can't just dip down and come up straight like that. It can't.
So like, yeah, when I saw those videos of the orbs or the drones went around, first thing I thought about was Superman. It literally looks like if any anime geeks, movie geeks, ever seen Man of Steel, the newest one that came out. You remember when the scene when he was in Antarctica and he was trying to test his speed for the first time. But when do you remember when he finally got it? He was just warping around the world. I think he went from Antarctica to like Africa to China. He was just going around and around and around and around. It looks like that.
The thing, let me tell you something though. The thing about it is that as much that's as far as our imagination can carry us.
Yep.
About speed.
Yep.
And even if we can think it, we certainly cannot fathom it. There are angels out there that have way much more powers than even the X-Men and Superman, and that's something that people are willing and able and even ready to grapple with. You see, we talk about angels a lot in life, but are we ready to really talk about angels with the power that the Most High is going to bestow upon them and even bestow upon his people when the time comes? Think about in Revelation when it talks about the two witnesses and what the powers of the two witnesses, right? The two witnesses are going to have the power to shut up the heavens and to breathe fire out of their mouths and to destroy people in that manner. Can you really and truly imagine? And we're not talking about those people, those fire people that usually like have those fire stick and they blow the fire and stuff like that. We're talking about literal people that probably might be walking with just like a t-shirt on, just like me, and some sandals on, and just like looking around, army, military, and all those people surrounding them, and it just basically blow fire there, and destroy them, melt the entire hardware in their hands and around them. This is what is going to be coming upon the earth sooner than you think.
And why do you think they're constantly making these for the past, I want to say like 6-7 years?
They've been ramping up on these
movies,
superhero movies,
and it's not even a movie; it's a series. What is it called? The Boys. They have like some more shows.
I think The Boys is to get us acquainted with the evil angels that are going to be coming around us. Because when you look at it, like the meaning of that show is to just show that there are super powered beings that are just evil and they're just selfish and things like that. And they want us to be accustomed and acquainted and okay with evil people doing whatever they're doing and be cool with it. That's what they're trying to do. Make evil people cool. Evil superpowered people cool. It's no longer okay to be a regular superhero Now you want anti-heroes, you want villains and things like that because that's what they are, is villains. But anyway, let's move on to Matthew. We're moving on to Matthew 24, in which the Hamashiach was speaking about the times and the signs of his coming. Right? And I think that it's important that we constantly, probably even every week, if we can, as you can see, like our videos are very sparse in between because we have children. It's early morning or late enough for us to be able to even do a video, to put out to you guys. So we apologize, even though I may have time at home, we don't have that time to do a video. It's very difficult for us to come together and do a video because, children have to be asleep because they're going to definitely be in the way of these videos. Anyway, and those who have children know exactly what we're talking about. Either you have to have a secret room in which you can close the doors and not hear children screaming, crying, fighting, biting, destroying the house and stuff like that, or you just have to wait for moments like these. Otherwise, we can't make any videos. Anyway, we're moving on to Matthew chapter 24. And this is where, Christ's disciple asked him about, let's just read it. Matthew 24, let's go from verse 3. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciple came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? And Yahushua answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceived you, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am the Mashiach, and shall deceive many. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass. Listen again, For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. So, even though these things are happening, destruction, all these things, rumors of wars going on, and rumors of it, the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom.
So like when he says nation against nation, we always think about like we live in America, right? So it's a quote unquote melting pot. He's not talking about nation as in
The land.
He's talking about the people. Meaning,
So ethnicity against ethnicity.
Yeah.
Versus left. So there will actually be a civil war over land of the world. It's going to be ethnicity against ethnicity.
So, like, for example, what's going over there in Gaza right now between those two Edomites, about the Edomites and the Ishmaelites. So that's nation against nation.
That is definitely, that's a very good example. That is nation against nation. Even the Ukraine and Russian war right now, it's basically it's the same landmass, but it is nation against nation. You understand? That's not kingdom against kingdom yet. That's not kingdom against kingdom. That's nation against nation. You understand? Because Ukraine, the land of Ukraine used to be a part of Russia. So that's still considered Russian land. So that's basically nation against nation. That's ethnicity against ethnicity.
And what's going on in America? Racial tensions are still here in the right. It's not as talking about as much as on the media right now, but it's still here. Nation against nation.
It's on the rise to basically, it's hitting a climatic point soon. And we all know that once it hits a climatic point, there are people in this world that want to do what they've thought about doing. But I don't know if many of you have seen this video, and I would recommend that the men, not the women, go and watch this video. I think it's a very important thing for you to understand what war is actually going to be like when the time comes. Because a lot of people glorify war from what they're seeing, but not from what they're experiencing.
Mhm.
Many of us think of war as just this shoot 'em up, pop, pop, go in, slash, two sword, man dead, all that thing. But you never think about like the real nitty gritty of war, the bodies that you have to walk over, the people that you have to kill, that you have to look into the eyes of somebody that whose life you are taking. And the video I'm talking about is the hand-to-hand combat with the Ukrainian soldier and the Russian soldier. That was like the nitty and gritty of it. The people were biting fingers, and you can't watch it because
no
I don't know
idea.
if he bit off the guy's finger.
Mike
And the guy
Tyson
was just
style.
there. The guy was just there
Mike
screaming,
Tyson style.
and the guy was just there screaming for a good 5 minutes. He was screaming while he was like I think he was trying to scream for help.
All right.
You understand? He was screaming,
Just from the
screaming.
pain.
No, not from fame, but like it was probably fear. Like he was screaming for help, like he's trying to get they're fighting. He's on his back, because the camera is on the Ukrainian guy. He's on his back. And the guy with the knife is like, they were stabbing each other, they were poking each other's eyes, they were biting hands. I was like, yo, that is the nitty gritty of war. Because, like I said before, many of us think we can do it, but then when push comes to shove, we don't have it. But the thing about it is that you have to ask yourself if when the time comes, are you going to be able to do stuff like that? You understand? Because it is about the survival of your life. The two men were there like for a good 5 minutes until the other guy just say, "Yo, let me die in peace." So the guy just drop a grenade on him and walk away, and then well, no, that's it. And this is the thing that many of you are not ready to consider. You see, a lot of people, they're used to just doing things in a group and not being fought against,
And not only that, using equalizers.
and using their equalizers.
Just like this.
Because the guy ran out of bullets. No, I don't think he ran out of bullets. I think he got shot, and then because he was firing and the other guy was firing, I think the other guy ran out of bullets and then ran up on him. You understand what I'm saying?
And that's the thing about Esau. Esau don't know how to fight. Esau don't know how to fight at all. They need an equalizer. But Jake
Every day.
Jake and Jacqueline had to say it. Jake and Jacqueline know how to fight. We grew up
Fighting
hand in hand
inside.
combat
Mhm.
from little kids from like 5 to 6. Like our kids live a totally different life that we live. They really do. Their kids are like they're very very soft, and I'm happy for that. Happy that they didn't have to live the life that we live. But if you grew up in the 90s or the 80s, you know how to fight. Unfortunately, you know how to fight.
As I've said before, one of the main things that when you talk about civil war is that a lot of people, here's what a lot of people don't consider medical.
Hmm.
One, when you get sick, when you're out there, because sometimes when you're out there for days and you can't find shelter, you're gonna get sick because of the elements. Who's gonna take care of you? When you start get gangrene and all those things, and your flesh are rot off, your toes are rot off, who's gonna take care of you?
And not only that, if you're not used to survival, like my husband, for instance, me as an American, if I get a spider bite, right, I'm gonna grab like the Neosporin and like Benadryl cream. He's
Bush.
yes, green leaf.
Green leaf, bush, rub that up.
Like,
Jamaican style.
some of us don't have survival instincts.
Mm.
Esau or Jake. So it's just something you have to think about, like
These are things that you have to think about.
while
Like,
we have the time.
as much as people keep thinking and glorifying, oh, civil war will get to kill people and stuff like that, you have to consider these things. You have to consider being out there, being hungry, not, you might die of starvation. There are probably many Russian soldiers, many Ukrainian soldiers that probably died from starvation alone.
But as Hebrews, we grew up in such
Yeah,
poverty.
we grew up in poverty, so we'd probably last longer, but it don't mean that we won't die of starvation.
And then like as we grew in our walkway, we started to fast. We might go days without food, sometimes a week without food.
Yeah.
And our bodies learn to adapt. As long as we have a little bit of water, we're fine. Right?
Hmm.
So this is the time to start the fast. Get your body acclimated with fasting. Um,
You should be fasting from a long time, even before you found the truth. Scriptures tell you to fast.
yeah, but a lot of people are just not waking up. So
No, but the thing about it is that even as a young, when I was a Christian, I would fast daily.
most Christians don't. Most Christians don't
And that's the
fast.
problem because even churches, church leaders would proclaim a fast. And that's how you would understand what a fast is. That's how I tell you, you, even, let me speak to the Christians. When I was a so-called Christian, I told you I left the church. And I left the church because of two main things. One, hierarchy. I hated the fact that there was hierarchy in church. It really burned me.
And it's not even hierarchy is the problem. It's hierarchy where it's not supposed to be hierarchy.
There's,
It keeps going out.
yeah, that one was I guess, like,
It's a stone.
let it burn. Don't burn to it. Next slide hasn't been checked. So the thing about it is that I left church because I wanted to, know about the Most High for myself. I wanted to experience the Most High for myself because, every Sunday you hear how, the Most High wants a relationship with you and stuff like that. And, this is, you need to. So I decided I would leave the church and find him for myself. They said, if he's really in the scriptures as it says, then I'm going to read and find out what the Most High wants from me. And that's exactly what I did at the age of 17. I mean, a lot of stuff was going on in my life and stuff in terms of like, failing school and, you know, parents and all them stuff there. But I also left church because I basically wanted to find out for myself what the Bible and the Most High was about. And that was the best decision I've made in my life because when I came back, I ended up being far more advanced than some of these so called elders and Bible study teachers. There are many times when they had Bible studies and I was there. And I ended up like showing them scriptures and I'm asking myself, how is it that you're leading a Bible study and you don't know that this is in the scriptures? In scriptures, Second Timothy tells you to study to show yourself approved unto God, unto Yah. A workman needs not be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth and shame profane babblings. Anyway, we're gonna move on to the next scriptures. We're gonna keep talking now. For nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places, and we're seeing of that. We've been seeing a lot of that worldwide. If you look on the internet, you're seeing even volcanoes constantly erupting. You're seeing earthquakes going on. You're seeing a lot of things happening.
So, Lakia, back to the point that you were making about learning more out of the church than you were in the church. And then when you go back to the leaders, you're giving them answers and stuff, and they don't know that they don't know the answers themselves, and they're confounded. And when you're just asking them questions, even though you know the answers to the questions, you're asking them the questions, and they have this look as if they're questioning their whole entire biblical life.
They don't only question it too. They look at you as if you're a
They get
heretic
offended
because
as well, yeah.
they get offended because how dare you come to teach them?
It's like a defense mechanism.
And I understand it too, because it's kind of like a shame, and it's like, you're supposed to be my student. How dare you try to teach me? So and then the fact that I was some kind of impoverished child, and that's the next thing too. Like I said before, hierarchy. Hierarchy is a problem of society where, let me tell you something. Most of the prophets, if not all, were poor. The poorest of society. Eliyahu had to be living by a creek in which a bird was feeding him when he was running from King Ahab. Do you remember that? Do you people remember that? Most of the prophets, even look at Yochanan the prophet. Where did he live? Where did Yochanan live for 3 years?
In the wilderness,
In the wilderness, in a cave,
eating
eating
crickets and
crickets
honey.
and wild. No, not just honey, wild
Wild
honey,
honey. It means he
because
was
they're
catching
tamed.
himself
Yeah, it might get sting up. It might get sting by
or
bees.
smoking them out, trying to.
Hmm.
But yeah, I'm gonna Salaki. I just wanted to bring up this Bible verse, First Peter 3:15. But sanctify um Yahweh in your hearts and be ready always to give an answer to every
Him.
man that asks of you a reason of the hope that is in you with meekness and fear. Always be ready to get an answer. Just like from the start of the video, we were talking about January, and I can actually tell you it's for the god Janus. You always have to, that's, we're just not talking about Bible. Yes, Bible, but you need to be able to give an answer to people when they're asking you, oh, why you don't celebrate Christmas? Because it's about Tammuz.
Yeah, remember when we used to do that?
Yeah, it's the Tammuz tree.
We used
That's
to
his
explain,
follies.
and then if people don't want, like, we were trying to explain it to one of our neighbors, and he didn't want to hear the rest of it. So it's just like we just say, hey, we don't celebrate it because of it's Tammuz Day, and he didn't ask any more than
We
that.
don't worship Tammuz, we worship the God of Israel.
Yeah, you understand? So
Always be ready to give an answer. Just not in the Bible, just not from the Bible, but you go and do your
historical,
history.
historical, and then tie it with scriptures.
Mhm.
Tie it with scriptures. Tie it with Jeremiah.
Mhm.
You understand? Because it's a Babylonian tradition.
Especially with these Christians. So now they're responsible because now they heard the truth. Now they're responsible. Once you tell them the truth, you did your job. Now they're
Mhm.
responsible. So on Judgment Day, it's not like, oh, I didn't know. Do you remember when this sister told you that Christmas was a pagan holiday? And she went out of the scriptures and she showed you from history and she tied it in with the scriptures and you didn't take heed to her warning. Do you remember?
Let's put it like this, especially for black people. Let's put it like this for black
Yep,
people. He's still celebrating white people's holiday.
exactly.
Hmm? You complain about white people so much, but you still turn around and celebrate white people's holiday with them Santa Claus, who you know is a white man. From day one, people used to see Santa Claus as white man. There's no Santa Claus, black Santa Claus, Chinese Santa Claus, whatever it is. Listen to me. It's a white man holiday. Let it go. If at anything, let the white man holiday go. Thanksgiving, let it go. Easter, let it go. 4th of July, let it go.
Because we still ain't get our freedom.
Exactly. You are not free on the 4th of July. You are still in bondage. You understand what I say? Let it go. Not celebrate them full holiday there. You're still, when you do that, you're still giving praise to white people. You're still giving them power over you. So when I say black people, black Americans, black Jamaicans, yeah, anybody who is black celebrating white man's holiday, and then come around and turn around and talk about how wicked white people are. Well, obviously they're not wicked enough if you're celebrating their holidays and cheering and being happy with them on their holidays. They obviously are not wicked enough for you to be able to celebrate and love their holidays. Yes, and so that's why we were just saying earlier. The first thing we said was, "Come out of her, my people. You need to come out of her." So we're gonna move on to Luke now, right? Luke 21, verse 25. And there shall be signs in the sun, and in the moon, and in the stars, and upon the distress of nations, with perplexity, the sea and the waves. So, do you see what's going on right now? We are in great perplexity right now. Perplexity means huge problem. If you look around the world, we are at a climatic point, or we're climbing to a climatic point of great perplexity, great problems. We're just experiencing great problems right now. We can't solve not one solution. People hungry, people can't afford stuff. People are like the government is like this and this is happening and that is happening and this is happening. We are not experiencing any solutions. We're just experiencing perplexity, pure problems.
And that's the thing. We're not. The world is. We're
Mm-hmm.
just sitting up here waiting for the chariot.
Mm-hmm. No, another day we're going to talk about the
Yeah,
chariots. Like
we'll
right
talk
now,
about. Yeah.
we will explain the chariots thing because I know a lot of you're going on to Hebrew channels and you're hearing about chariots and stuff like that. This week, hopefully, we are going to do our best to explain the chariots for you guys.
I'll wear my earrings. I'll wear my earrings forever.
We will try to explain the chariots thing. So anyway, we're gonna move on to the next verse, which is 2 Corinthians 6, verse 17. Again, wherefore come out from among them, and be ye separate, saith the Adon, and touch not the unclean thing, and I will receive you. What is the unclean thing? What is the unclean thing?
uh, Pork,
Not just
shrimp,
pork, not just food,
people,
people,
Esau,
holidays, rituals,
picking up trinkets,
trinkets.
like
So
the little
what them
boy.
call them again? These little rocks with them. I say, oh, these feelings rocks and this rock give me this feeling and that feeling. Witchcraft.
Mhm.
Touch not. Those are unclean things.
Even the Christmas balls. I forgot what they're called. The ornaments.
Mm.
Yeah.
Come out from among them. You have to come out from among them. And physically too, physically could mean that you physically don't celebrate this thing anymore. Now that's coming out physically too as well, when you don't use your body physically to celebrate these holidays, that's coming out of them physically too. You understand? So a lot of people would think that physically mean that don't do nothing. No. Physically mean don't celebrate it.
So like it, because we're still in Babylon.
Mm.
We're not amongst our people yet.
Mm.
Everything is not perfect yet. So we're still in Babylon. You do what you can with most of your heart.
On their holidays, do you know what I do? I do work for the Lord.
Or we treat it as another day.
We treat it as a regular day. I do work for the Lord. I do work on my computer for the Lord. You understand? I don't like when it's a day where they consider it a holiday. I don't consider it a holiday. I work, or just treat it like a regular day anyway. You understand? Anyway,
Even when your family, and it talks about, and it just goes into like your family too. It's easy to like annoying Jim Bob down the street hanging up Christmas decorations and saying Merry Christmas to you. You can say Barakatah.
Mm.
But when you got family, especially if you live in a household, I know a lot of people, we don't know who's watching this. If you are a young person and you're living in a household, you have been woken up, but your family members haven't, or they may not. I would just stay in my room for that whole entire day. Don't accept any gifts.
don't accept. Yeah, we don't accept gifts, and
Don't
if you
eat
do,
any of the food. Don't partake in any of the festivities. To stay in your room with your Bible. Let's pray unto the Most High, face the east. And yeah, you have to separate yourself. This is the time of separation. As far as your kids, if your kids are in public school or in a private school, they're going to be doing Christmas decorations and stuff. Even like our kids go to therapy. We're not in we're not in the actual office where they're receiving the therapy. Sometimes they do like Christmas decoration stuff. She does it, I just throw it away.
so as soon as
We're still
throw
in
it out before,
Babylon.
yeah, still in Babylon. So you have to deal with it.
Just like if your kids are at school, you don't know if even if you tell the teacher, "Oh, we don't do Christmas decorations and
The
stuff."
teacher might not remember.
Yeah, because it's like 32 other
It took other students that she has to, yeah.
So, or they just being spiteful and making kids just throw it away. We're still in Babylon.
Mm.
Um, for us, our kids are homeschooled, so we literally monitor
Over there.
we literally monitor everything that the teacher is teaching them. And I could skip, especially the season with Tammuz week. I was able to like sift through her lessons and stuff. I didn't let her take any live classes or anything like that. I let her watch the pre-recorded classes. I was able to skim through the Christmas theme lessons and everything like that. Didn't let her do anything like that. So do what you can while you can with the most of your heart.
Mhm. I agree. I agree.
That's how you come out of it.
That's how you come out of her, by just stop celebrating stuff and then you turn to the Most High and start celebrating whatever is scriptural that the Most High has established and authorized in His scripture. We did a video about that. What has the Most High established and authorized, and once it's been established and authorized by the Most High, those are things that we're actually supposed to be doing with our family and with our children.
And so, like, and that's true repentance. You can't say, "Oh, I
Mhm.
repent for I'm celebrating Christmas. I didn't eat some Christmas cookies." And not only that, or even accepting the place. Say if you got your grandma or something, Big Mama helped the thing at the house every Christmas and stuff.
Oh, I just
She,
don't go
or she
there
gonna
this one
just
time.
say hi, or did she just try and drop you off a plate? Throw that plate in the trash.
Mhm.
Be not throw it in trash. Throw it in trash. Do not partake in it.
Don't
Okay.
don't like we said, don't accept gifts. And if they force the gifts upon you,
Throw it away.
throw it away.
Throw it away.
Tell them that you're not gonna use it and you're gonna throw it. Tell them point blank, say don't give it to you because you're just gonna throw it away. Because you have to make your stance known to them.
Even Halloween candy, we would take the kids to like doctor's offices and stuff, or just like therapy office. They walk for candy and stuff. No, and if like she happened just to have some candy it come out of nowhere or the gym or something,
We throw it away. Same thing. Same thing. When I was working at the gym too, they would say to me, "You don't let your children and this is a so-called, many so-called Jewish people too. I don't know how you can claim to be the chosen people, the Most High, and turn around and you're celebrating these holidays.
Like y'all afraid to cut the light on, but Christmas.
Yeah.
But Halloween
Afraid to
is
cut,
fine.
to turn the lights on a
Shabbat.
so-called on their Shabbat, but yet still Halloween and Christmas and all those things are being
Because that's
celebrated.
I'm sorry.
I cannot. You see.
Let's go. Move on.
Anyway, Revelation 18:4 says, "And I heard a voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues." Do you see what's happening now? Do you see what is happening now?
If you live in California in that area, come up out of her, my people. Okay, or maybe even your house. I have to even say this. Maybe even your house got destroyed because you were partaking in the sins, and you received. So you received her plagues.
You probably weren't even partaking in sin, but you did not heed the warning of coming out of her physically, my people. And
that's partaking in her sins. If you didn't come up out of her.
The thing about it, yeah, that's partaking in. No, that's not partaking in your sin. It's a partaker judgment. But yeah, I agree. Both. And the thing about it is this, is a lot of us, even though we have, come to the truth, we still don't have trust in the Most High, which is very, very important. We're not trusted in the Most High to, basically, to take care of us. Even I and Ashley have this problem from time to time, and the Most High has to constantly remind us, yo, I got you. November, December was our worst in terms of provision from me. I basically walked off my job in November. No, they did, whatever it is with them, no income for December, period.
Half of November.
And half of the second half of November too. So, bills got to get paid. We have rent coming up. We have light, water, gas, car note, insurance, food. You know,
diapers.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you understand? So all these things, they add up to $4,000 excess. That's like the minimum, $4,000. It's more than that per month.
Because we live in a city.
Yeah, and we live in a city too. So now you even have food taxes,
sugar tax,
which I think is stupid. You see, this is anyway. That's another topic. So anyway, um, the Most High, we were waiting for some income to come in from something, and uh, we were waiting for some income to come in from something, and basically, the Most High. I was saying, we were complaining to the Most High that Most High, we want to celebrate the feast of dedication, right? And we said, Most High, if we don't have the funds to celebrate the feast of dedication, we can't celebrate it. We cannot celebrate it, Most High. And we complain. We say, Most High, how are we going to celebrate the feast of dedication? How are we going to give you glory and honor and blessings upon your name? We don't have no money to do it. We don't have no money to buy the food. We don't have no money to decorate. We don't have the menorah. We don't have the shofar.
Because it was a new moon coming up the same time.
We don't have no incense to burn to you. Like Most High, how are we gonna celebrate this? I said we don't have no fringes.
We can't
we
afford
have
it.
nothing. Even this headband we didn't have. Don't complain to the Most High. We said, Most High, we can't celebrate nothing we want us to do. You understand? We said, Most High, if you don't give it to us, we're not gonna have it. We're not gonna have it. If it is not provided to us, and guess what the Most High did? Was it a couple days or a week after?
Almost a week after.
A week after.
Just before, like a week before.
Yeah.
The feast of dedication.
So a week before the feast of dedication, the Most High provided. He provided enormously.
Yes.
So he sent us the funds that we needed in a great amount. You understand? And we took care of bills. We took care. Many of you people, if you were on my TikTok page, you saw the things that we had to take care of. We had to take care of our broken fridge.
Yeah, not only that, everything was breaking and we couldn't afford to actually fix anything. The dryer.
I was fixing the dryer constantly.
But then the motor went out, and then that was like the final leg in the coffin. Like I was saying before, I'm going to be, I have a journey vlog about going from Christianity to waking up to the truth, knowing I'm an Israelite. And throughout the journey, you're going to see my husband fixing the refrigerator, constantly fixing the refrigerator, fixing the dryer. You're going to hear in the video the noises that the refrigerator would make. You also will see our struggle. We were Instacart all day, and then I would have to come home and homeschool, and y'all are going to see how much I was crying, and we were really going through it. We were really, 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 really going through it. So he delivered us out of all of that. Like he showed up and showed out. I'm so glad that we did the vlog over the last year and a half. I want to say year and a half, even from the old house, like because we were struggling there too. We were going through so much. Esau had his foot on our necks. It was It was problem after problem after problem after problem that was going on, and it was nothing but Hasatan. But he delivered us out of all of that. And I'm so glad I documented our journey because it shows what we came from and where we are now. And our testimony, you guys are going to be seeing it in real time. So it's such a beautiful thing that we trusted in him. Sometimes we didn't, but we never lost our faith. Yeah.
We never stopped loving the Most High. We never stopped believing that he would deliver us. It's just sometimes we thought that it was a different deliverance. Sometimes when we're going through things,
not the way we want to do it.
Yeah, we were thinking that it's not the way that we wanted it, and we were trying to understand just what exactly did the Most High want for us to understand while we were going through something, because you know, let me express this again. Many weeks in a row, we were dealing with overdrafting our bank account to pay for bills, overdrafting, and that was just like a little blessing of the bank account that the Most High actually allowed. You understand? For us to be able to overdraft up to $300-$400 on a bank account, and then as soon as we got paid to pay it back and stuff like that, so that it could be reloaded and used again. Even though I was working my butt off, working my butt
And we were
off,
Instacarting during the day, and then he would go to
work in
in
the
the
evening.
afternoon, and from the afternoon to the evening. It was just like from 6 o'clock in the morning, and you would get off at like what 9 o'clock
at
at
night.
night, and then drive home for an hour and a half. So you can imagine the amount of sleep he was getting, and then I had to deal with the kids and everything like
And then
that.
she had to wake up and rinse again. So it was like both of us getting stressed out, you know. But at the same time, too, people remember, you know, don't try do your best to do two things when you're going through situations like this. One, do not take it out on your children because they've done you nothing. We have never, even when like we would come inside the house and they would have done something wrong, but we didn't take it out on them because we knew that if we popped them at that moment in time when we were like frustrated and you know, and we never took it out on each other either. There were pockets in which we basically got mad at each other, but we never got to a point where we were like raging, screaming, and
At each
fighting.
other.
Yeah,
But we knew what it was, and we checked ourselves. We know it was external stress, and it's not stress between that we're creating between ourselves. It's the stress of life.
Yeah.
And we just walked away from each other. It's not, we realized what it was and we stopped. You know what I mean?
And most times we were holding each other's hands. We were laying down in the bed, looking up at the ceiling and talking and planning and seeing where we can go here. And we didn't, and we just like within ourselves, we said, yo, listen, we don't have the time to be fighting and we don't have the time to be crying. You understand? We said to ourselves, at the end, after we've come through all of this, then maybe we can cry from all the pain that we've been through. But right now, it's not the time to cry. Not now is not the time to lay down. Our kids need that house. Our kids need clothes. Our kids need shelter. Our kids need food. We are not laying down and dying.
And
we are not laying down and dying.
We did what we had to do to survive. It was so bad. Like maybe we need to make a separate video about this, but it was so bad. For the first, I want to say for the first 8 months of us living here, we didn't sleep upstairs. We did not sleep upstairs, guys. We slept on the couch. And because it was so bad, we were taking showers every 3 days. It's that because we were so tired with Instacarting. We would wake up because Walmart opens up at 6 o'clock, so we had to be there by 5. So that means we had to wake up at 4:30, 4:30 to be there, depending on what Walmart we would go to.
The baby ready.
Because we would have to take the baby with us. And my mom, she was here.
So she would just like leave the food and stuff like that in our room.
And a lot of times we would get up, we would come back and like do our routine with the kids before they wake up. But sometimes we wouldn't, and we leave everything with my mom just in case. But it was the fact that we were getting maybe 4 hours of sleep. And it was one time where I was 9 months pregnant, 8 months pregnant. It was
she worked better when she was that.
I told him that I worked better.
New baby.
I began to lag because when you're pregnant, you're nesting, so you get that burst of energy in that last 3 months of pregnancy, and you're able to like just push and perform. That's the first time in your pregnancy where you're able to get all your energy back, and then some, because your brain is like, I gotta prepare for the baby, so you get a burst of energy for the last 3 months of pregnancy. So
and just to let you guys know, I was working besides.
That's the thing. We was working too.
I was working while we were doing the Instacart. So I don't like.
And we were breaking the Shabbat.
Yeah, we were breaking the Shabbat, and we were very upset about that too. And even when I returned back to this place that I just left, I told him that I did not want to work on a Saturday.
And what did she do?
Anyway, so we're gonna go now. We're gonna continue moving on. I want to let you people know that I've talked about this before, and I want to talk about it again. And this is about the prayers of the saints. And what do I mean by the prayers of the saints? I think it's the prayers of the saints, meaning that us as the people of the Most High and people who are praying against Edom, that is basically constantly doing evil to our people. Our prayers are filling the censer of the Most High. And the more we pray and the more we ask for judgment upon this people is the more that's going to keep happening. And you have to be ready for that. You have to be prepared spiritually and physically for that, for the judgment that's happening. Don't just like, oh, the judgment of the Most High is upon these people, because they're wicked and blah blah. No, you need to be ready for the judgment of the Most High upon these people in terms of mentally being ready. I know a lot of us have friends from. Oh wow, I know that a lot of us have friends from Edom and whatever it is, and some of them listen, some of them don't listen, some of them look at us as if we're cuckoo. I know a lot of people look at me as if I'm cuckoo. Honestly, I don't care because what's happening now has only made me more strong in the Most High and in this walk with the Most High right now. With what's been going on around the world and with people and this nation being judged and stuff, it has only made me more strong in following the Most High right now. Right? So anyway, let's move on to Revelations 8. And when he had opened the seventh seal, there was like silence in heaven. No, that's not the part I want to read. Here we go. And another angel came and stood at the altar having a golden censer. And there was given unto him much incense that he should offer it with the prayers of all saints upon the golden altar which was before the throne. So, as I said before, our prayers are, you know, before the throne of the Most High. So let me tell you something. If you watch some of these movies, it would tell you how kings were approached. You could not directly approach a king. You had to make a request. Then your request would have to be approved by someone. Then it would have to go to the king. Then the king would have to approve it. Then that person would have to come back and say it's approved. And then no, you don't even know if you'd probably be speaking to a advisor of the king or the king himself. Now, if you were able to come before the throne of the king, that was the best spot to be, because that place the king would be able to handle the situation, get somebody to handle the situation right then and there. Now think about it like this. Now our prayers being at the throne of the Most High himself, right before the throne of the big man himself. Can you now understand that? Can you now understand that it is now before the throne of the Most High? So you see now our three children are awoken. The baby is still asleep, which is the fourth one. So they're kind of like kicking up some noise. So we're trying to get them to stay quiet during our study. We're gonna be finished soon though. But we really and truly wanted to do this study last night, but we were really tired. Both of us were really tired to do the study. So, you know. But let's move on. And the smoke of the incense which came out with the prayers of the saints ascended up before Yahuwah out of the angel's hands. So this scent is going to go up into the nostrils of Yahuwah, and it is going to anger him. because of the constant prayer and the suffering of his people. And the angel took the censer and filled it with fire at the altar and cast it into the earth. And there were voices and thunderings and lightnings and an earthquake. Revelation 5:8. And when he had taken the book, the 4 beasts and 24 elders fell down before the Lamb, having every one of them harps and golden vials full of odors, which are the prayers of saints. You have to understand, you guys have to understand. You guys have to understand exactly the point that I'm trying to make. The point I am making is this, is that your prayers aren't just going up and dropping. A lot of people feel like our prayers are not being answered, but it's not that they're not being answered. They are being gathered together. And then it's going to go up into his nose because it's being gathered together, and because it's being gathered together, and all that sadness, that grievances, those pain, suffering is going to be going up into his nose. It is going to cause great anger and great judgment to come down, right? Revelation 8:3. I already did this. Sorry, this is a repetition, but I want to read. Sorry, I want to read Habakkuk for the first chapter, because I want everybody to understand that even the prophets from day one, when Israel was going through some things, the prophets would be our emissary to God. They would be the person who speak on our behalf and speak to the Most High. Now, because of Yahushua, we can now individually, as Israel, go before the throne of the Most High through Yahushua. I am the way, the truth, and the light. No one comes to the Father except through me. So when people say Bahashem, Yahushua or Yahawashai, they're basically saying, by the name of or through the name of Yahushua, meaning that we're speaking to you, Father, not directly, but through the name that you said that we could speak to you through. So because of Yahushua, we can now approach the throne, the direct throne of the Most High. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Because Yahweh Shai is the mediator.
Because he's the mediator. You understand?
Just think about it like this. So, like, you think about it like this: mediation. You have a couple that's divorcing. Say you have a couple that's divorcing. You got their two attorneys there, but then you have the mediator, the bridge between them.
Which is the judge. The judge, the mediator.
Or sometimes you have a physical mediator there.
Yeah, understood. So, the burden which Habakkuk the prophet did see, O Lord, how long shall I cry, and thou wilt not hear? Even cry unto thee of violence, and thou wilt not save. Why dost thou show me iniquity, and cause me to behold grievance? For spoiling and violence are before me, and there that raise up strife and contention. Therefore the law is slacked, and judgment doth never go forth, for the wicked doth compass about the righteous. Therefore wrong judgment proceeded. And many of us have been victims of this. We go to court, and we have people, and I've said this in my TikTok video, on the day of judgment, there's going to be people in which you're not going to be able to talk your way out of what's going to happen to you. There's not going to be some expensive and some highfalutin lawyer that is going to know technicalities and loopholes to speak on your behalf. You are going to have to speak on your own behalf. Children, be quiet. You are going to have to speak on your own behalf. You are going to have to speak to the Most High and give an answer for what you have done wrong. There's not going to be hiding behind no attorney. No, lawyer. Lawyer. There will be no hiding behind. There will be no knowing the law and well, Your Honor, based on the fact that this was not filled out, my client will let off on this technicality, even though your client is wrong and evil for what they have done.
Do you remember, Saki? Do you remember in Exodus when Moses went to go talk to Yahweh, and it was like, "You go talk to him, because if we talk to him, we gonna die."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was when they came onto the mount and he was revealing himself for the first time,
Yep.
and the brightness of his coming basically scared the crap out of them.
So just imagine.
Now I talk about this all the time.
Mhm.
People thinking that hell is a game and I'm going to hell with a roller coaster. I don't care.
I'm gonna be bored there.
I'm going to be bored there. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's bored in heaven, fun in hell. No, it's not. Put your hand over. I tell people this all the time. Even look at this. Look at this. I don't know if you can see the flame. Look at that. Put your hand on this alone, and hell is 10 times that, and the lake of fire is 10 times that, right? And people want to think that this is a game, this is a fun and game. I don't want it. That's why on the day of judgment, I don't want nobody telling me, say, "Oh, they didn't know." Yes, you did. Yes, you did. And it's not a fun and game. So Habakkuk is basically, he's complaining to the Messiah about, how long before you hear it. Like many times when we even pray to the Messiah, we say, "Messiah, how long are you going to allow this evil to continue upon our people?" This is what Habakkuk is actually saying. And you see, sometimes when you read the scripture, you realize that you're actually praying the same thing that the prophets were praying. Even before the throne in Revelation, it speaks about the saints saying, "How long are you going to allow this to continue, Most High?" And the Most High says, "Rest and wait, because the rest of the saints then that's supposed to pass away and come here don't happen yet." But the Most High is making them, is saying to them, "Rest assured that their punishment is coming." Right? And then we're going to go to Habakkuk 2, verse 3. Right? "For the vision is yet for an appointed time."
Yep.
"But at the end it shall speak and not lie." Basically, the Most High is letting him know that, listen, this is going to come to pass. "Though it tarry," meaning though it's delaying, though it's taking some time to come, "wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry." Meaning it is not going to stop. It's not going to delay. The thing about it is that this judgment is coming, and it's coming in its own time. It's going to ramp up. It's not going to stop. There's no pausing. There's no brief moment of reprieve to catch your breath. Nothing of the sort. Nothing of the sort. A lot of people think that they're gonna get a brief moment of reprieve. No, my friend, that ain't happening. We showed it in Malachi. You're gonna try to rebuild, but the Most High is gonna throw that back down again. Edom, your time has come. You're going to pay for everything you have done to the Israelites. You're going to pay for everything you've done to Yah's people. And we keep saying it. You're mocking us. Go ahead, mock us. The Bible says that in the last days, scoffers and mockers will come, mocking after walking after their own flesh, saying, "Where is the time of his coming? For since the days that the patriarchs have fallen asleep, all things have considered the same." So don't worry, scoff, mock, we don't care. I told people before now, you think it's bothering us? It no longer bothers us anymore. We just don't care. We just don't care. So, anything else you want to add before we close out, darling?
Yeah, just tarry. And I think is start to keep the commandments. Start to keep the commandments. As we said in the last Bible study, we read, I believe this was Psalms 1:1. So I don't know if
Blessed is the man
wait, look it up. This that
that does not stand in the way of the sinners, that sits in the seat of the scornful. Psalm 1:1.
Psalms 1.
Standing not in the way of the
I think it was
ungodly,
1 3 actually.
not nor sitting that walketh. Sorry, I keep
Yeah.
mixing that up. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly. You know what that means? Don't listen to these Edomites. Don't listen to these people that want to be friends with the Edomites in terms of like
The
scriptures.
The Hellenistic Americans.
The Hellenistic American.
Just like we had the Hellenistic Greeks, the
Greek.
Hellenistic,
I agree.
the
I agree.
Hellenistic Israelites. Don't listen to the Hellenistic Israelites.
Agree 100%.
Like in the New Testament, quote unquote New Testament. Don't listen to the Hellenistic Israelites as well, because they're following the counsel of ungodly, which is Esau. So, nor.
Nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. Don't stand in the way of sinners, meaning don't stand in the same place as them. Don't stand in the same place doing the things that they do. Don't sit in the seat of the scornful. Don't act like don't look down upon your own people with certain things. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, of the Adon, and in his law doth he meditate day and night. Meditate on that law. And he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water. We spoke about this, about what it means to be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that bring it forth his fruit in his season, the seasons for everything. His leaf also shall not wither. That means that your blessings are not going to wither away. Your strength will not wither away. Your wisdom will not wither away once you stay in this. And whatever he doeth shall prosper. So whatever you do, the most I will provide. The ungodly are not so, but are like the chaff which the wind driveth away. Therefore, the ungodly shall not stand in the judgment, nor sinners in the congregation of the righteous. For the Lord knoweth the way of the righteous, but the way of the ungodly shall
perish.
Right.
Yep. So start keeping them commandments, and we can testify to that. The more we keep the commandments, the more the most
Spirit has felt.
Yes.
Yeah.
Spiritually, he's provided. Physically, monetarily, he's starting to provide because we're starting to keep the commandments.
We're doing our best to keep the commandments. Do your best. You're gonna fail. You're gonna fail from time to time, but do your best. Put your heart into it. Start telling your bosses, say, yo, one sundown lit my gun on my yard. You can do without as much as let me tell you something, people. Again, our story is overdrafted bank account. There are times like every single dollar counted, or so we thought. Right? When sundown lick, finish your work, Gaia yard. Tell him say your Shabbat, Gaia yard. You understand? When I came up into that's why I said when I came into this truth, the first thing I keep, even when I went for an interview the other day, and the gym owner was asking me, hey, can you work? I said, no, it's my Shabbat. I can work after the Shabbat. I can come back on a Saturday evening when the sun gone down and work. But I am not working from once sundown lick and I finish my work. That's gone on my yard, and that's where I'm staying until the honest people. You have to understand the severity and the seriousness. You see, because I made this video about Christians talking about how the law is done away with. So if the law is done away with, why don't we just kill, steal, and do whatever it is that we want to do? Why can't I
sleep with a dog right now? Seriously. Seriously. Why can't I do certain things?
You know what I mean? Why can't we kill and steal then? Because the law says do not kill, do not steal, do not covet. Are those laws done away with? And if those laws are not done away with, why is it that certain laws are done away with, but those laws are not done away with? That doesn't make any sense at all. That don't make no sense at all. How is it that some laws are done away with, but not all the laws are done away with? That is stupid. And then, oh, Christ fulfilled the law, so it's no longer necessary. That is stupid. You ever see the Mashiach not celebrate the Shabbat? You ever see the Mashiach? You ever see the Mashiach eat pork? Hmm?
Exactly.
You ever see the Mashiach celebrate Tammuz Day? Or Ishtar, which was our Saturnalia? Hmm? You ever see my celebrating none of that? You see, fulfilling. Do you know what fulfilling the law meant? Fulfilling the law was him showing you how you're supposed to do the law properly. That the law is a different thing than what people were making it out to be. That you were able to do good on the Shabbat. And then he expressed, if your deeds do not surpass the scribes and the Pharisees, forget about it. It came out of his mouth. So when people are talking about, oh, you're scribes and Pharisees, remember this, you have to surpass me. You're a legalist. You're a legalist.
Oh well, call me a legalist, call me a scribe and a Pharisee. I'm doing what Yahweh Shah told us to do, to follow the scribes and Pharisees, but do not do after their ways. It means don't be a hypocrite.
By the way, people, when Yahushua said to pick up your cross and follow me, that's not what he said. He said to pick up your towel and follow me. The tau is one the is the X, and it looks like a cross, and the tau means power.
Mhm.
So for those of you who, like I said before, especially you Christians who don't practice Hebrew or study Hebrew, you wouldn't know what he was talking about. So when you think it was like a premonition of his suffering on the
Mhm.
cross. That's not what he's talking about.
Nope.
Hmm. See, Romans 3, verse 31. Do we then make void the law through faith? Yah forbid. Yea, we
We
establish
establish the
the
law.
law. So you don't make the law void through your faith. You believe in the law and you follow it. You're supposed to follow it. Your actions are because when you come to the day of judgment and you're still being judged, your people think that they're not being judged because they're Christians on the day of judgment. Judgment begins with the house of Israel. If you come into the faith, you're a part of the house of Israel. The promises, the blessings. When you become a Christian, you're not coming out a Christian separate and apart from Israel, because Israel was where the blessings came to. And when you become a Christian, you become attached to those promises. And scriptures tells you, and we've done this Bible verse before, we've done this Bible study before. Judgment begins with the house of Israel. So you Christians, if you basically say that you are a part of Israel through the promises that scripture says, judgment is going to begin with you. And what are you going to be judged on then?
Exactly.
If the law is null and void, what are you going to be
going to judge
what,
you
what,
on?
what is he going to judge you on if the law is null and void? Anyway, people, that's our time for today.
Yeah.
That's it. The kids are here. Anyway, guys, thank you for tuning in. Enough love and blessings. Peace. We are out.